Give me 10 minutes and I'll show you how to improve your return on ad spend by 2 to 3x on Meta ads. After advising on over $200 million in ad spend, I've boiled down Meta ads to 4 key pillars that you really need to focus on. And the first key pillar is micro budget allocation. So what does micro budget allocation mean? It's essentially how you adjust budgets without actually scaling up your spend in your account, so that way you can get more results for the same cost. Meaning you're not spending a single dollar more, but you're getting additional purchases, more leads, more results in general. And the way this works is, let's say that you've been running a few different audiences now for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or more. How micro budgeting works is whenever you're inside your ads manager, what you want to look for is the return on ad spend and also your cost per result. So we have a few campaigns here and we're spending $150 here and paying $200 per result. Now for $150 daily spend on this ad set, we're getting cost per result of $116, nearly half the price for the same daily budget. And then if we look at this one, we're spending only $75 and getting a cost per result of $50, which is even half of the $100. So most people might look at this and say, okay, well, I'm gonna scale this one up because it's getting a really good cost per result. Well, that means you're gonna be spending more money, and yes, you may get a few more results or purchases or leads, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you've optimized your account to its full efficiency. And so what micro budgeting is where you actually take larger budgets from campaigns that are spending money and getting a high cost per result and moving that over. So if we're paying $200 per result here and spending $150, we're better off taking this down to $75 and moving that budget over here to $150. And so in this case, we've actually spent no additional dollars, but we're going to literally 3x the number of results, even 4x the number of our results because of this, all by moving budget out of what is costing us the most amount of money and just shifting that over. So that is what you call micro budget shifting. And this can help you optimize your account, get you way more results without actually spending any more dollars at all. And most people don't realize this. They'll get a really good result and they'll want to scale up dramatically because they see that result. And then all of a sudden they see their campaign performance tank. Whereas if we just shift over some of the dollars, we're actually spending no additional money. And even if our costs go up slightly, we're still getting more results because of it. So it's one way of framing things and just looking at it through a different lens, so that way you can become a better media buyer. So in this case, we can continue to look here, and we're spending $116 on this audience, and we're spending $69 per result on this audience, which is our next lowest cost per result. So what we can do is we can take 50 from this audience, or even 25, and shift that budget over. And so we're not scaling at all, we're just shifting our budgets. And as you shift these dollars, your campaign performance will get better over time. You'll be able to scale quicker and be able to get a lot more results. And if you get really good at shifting budgets, you're going to find that your overall account cost per result is going to continue to come down over time. Now, the second pillar is creative testing. And most people get creative testing wrong. They'll end up launching a campaign and dropping in creatives. And then once it starts working, and they want to start testing new creatives, they'll drop those creatives in and completely disrupt their performance because they've exited learning. The results have gotten consistent, but they want to try a new creative idea, so they put that in there. And that ends up tanking the overall ad set or campaign by doing that. Another thing people do is they'll take a campaign that has been historically performing really well, and as soon as it drops off in performance, they'll then refresh it with creatives, and they end up seeing a big drop off in results, and then finally maybe it starts to pick up. But we want to stay ahead of the curve, and the way you do that is through a different style of creative testing that both protects your proven campaigns and keeps them stable while you find new creatives that convert in the background. And so whenever your campaign starts to fatigue, you've already migrated those proven creatives over, so that way you don't see a drop in results and it stays stable and improves over time. And the way that creative testing works is, instead of dropping new ads inside of your already proven testing campaign, it could be lookalikes you're running that are working, it could be your interest testing, maybe you have 2 to 3 ads that are working really well. We're not gonna put any new creatives in there whenever you wanna launch content. What you're going to do is create a new campaign with a creative testing ad set. You're going to test new creatives in an entirely new audience. The reason for this is because you can find out what creatives work without having to disturb current campaign performance. Every time you drop in a new ad in an ad set, it can reset the learnings, it can disturb the entire account performance, and it just throws everything off. And most people see their ROAS crash and burn. What we want to do is do testing in an entirely different audience. And the reason you might ask, why don't I test new creatives in an audience I already know works? Well, the goal here is to find a creative that can work in just about any audience. And if you can find creatives that convert in an audience you've never tested before, well, the chances of them working in some of your proven audiences are much higher. So this is going to help us identify winning creatives that can convert across the board. And you can do this by testing them in 1 or 2 or even 3 different unique audiences. You'll take a batch of 5 to 10 new creatives and launch them in an entirely new audience. And this allows you to not disturb any of your other campaigns. This allows you to actually dedicate budget to those ads, because if you drop new creatives in a current ad set, they're very unlikely to get spend because Meta is going to spend the budget on what is already proven. Hence why creative testing gets disturbed when you go that route. So whenever you drop them in a new ad set and they're only new ads, you're always going to get budget towards new creatives to see what works. And you always want to be running a creative testing campaign, because as soon as you find a winner, well, before your proven campaign actually drops off in performance from creative fatigue, you already have found other creatives that work before that moment. And once you find a creative that converts, let's say it has 5 to 30 purchases in a week and it's getting the best ROAS, it's beating out some of your proven ad sets and performance, well, you're going to duplicate that ad and simply move it into the rest of your ad sets. You're just going to duplicate it over into all of your proven, because now we have a proven creative that came out of our creative testing, and you can't hurt a proven campaign with a creative you already know is proven, but you can hurt a proven campaign with a creative you've never tested. So this is the methodology behind how you protect your downside and increase your upside potential with your meta ads. This is another way of looking at this through a different lens. The third pillar is the winning campaign structure. Now, we briefly touched on this. You're gonna have a separate campaign with 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 5 ads that are proven. You never wanna be down to only one ad that's working, because the moment that ad goes away, well, you're not gonna have a proven ad to scale on. So you're always gonna have a separate campaign that's dedicated to always running. It's your evergreen campaign that runs year round. You're going to make sure that you scale your proven campaign over time. So as you move over the creatives and they start working, let it sit for a few days. As it continues to get results, you can then scale by 15 to 20%. So you're always gonna have that same structure, and you're just gonna scale that over time. And you're always gonna be testing new creatives and migrating them over. So we're always rotating in creatives. Once one dies off, that creative's gone. We have a new creative coming in and replacing its spot. So this is a perpetual flywheel for the winning campaign structure. So you may have a retargeting campaign over here. You may have an interest or lookalike campaign over here, and you're simply creative testing, migrating over, letting it stabilize for a few days, and then scaling 15, 20% from there every 3, 4, 7 days. And the fourth pillar is stabilize. And what I mean by stabilization is most people make too many adjustments in their ads manager. They're turning off ads every day. They're turning on new ads every day. They're turning off audiences. They're launching audiences. They're turning off a campaign, launching a new campaign, trying this headline, that copy, that ad. And they're just doing a lot every day, changing the budgets, adjusting this, adjusting that, and it creates a very turbulent environment for Meta. There's been many cases where we've had clients come in and they've had a habit of changing their stuff too frequently, and it completely prevents the campaign from stabilizing. And then all of a sudden they go on a vacation for 7 to 14 days and they don't access their ads manager during this time. And every single time they come back to me and they say, our results have never been better, and I haven't even been in my ads manager for a week. That is the key. Once something is working, let it run on its own. Let it stabilize, let it get better results. Look at the data day over day, week over week, month over month. If the performance is getting better on its own without you even touching the budget, if your ROAS continues to go up, if your cost per purchase continues to go down, and if your sales continue to go up without you even moving the budget, don't touch it. Once it stabilizes, this is where you see that the ROAS is now staying the same. It's hovering between, a 3 to 4x week over week. It's staying at that same number. It doesn't look like it's getting better. It doesn't look like it's getting worse. It's just staying stable. That is when you start making adjustments. Now you can turn off the worst performing ad, or now you can move over the best performing creative, or now you can increase the budgets by 15 to 20%. Once you make that change, leave it alone, watch it over the course of a week. If the numbers start to go up, wait until it plateaus and stabilizes. Every time you're waiting for a stabilization period to then make your move in scaling, adjusting, or tweaking. Do not tweak for the sake of tweaking something every single day. Let it stabilize and then make your adjustments. You're gonna see way better performance with your ads manager. You're gonna become a much better media buyer. You're gonna be more methodical with your approach, and you're gonna have a better time at getting the result that you desire, all from these 4 pillars. Now, there's definitely more pillars out there and more strategies you can leverage, but if you just start applying these 4 things, I can assure you that you will start seeing changes in your business and with your overall meta ad performance. Now, if you're interested in learning more strategies just like these, then definitely make sure to go ahead and check out this video where I talk about everything, even outside of your ads manager, from your creatives, your Shopify, your email, SMS, and so much more that allows you to scale by adding another 20, 50, 100, even 200K months to your business. And once you go through that training, you can definitely make sure to book a call with our team if that sounds like something you are interested in. And once again, it's your favorite digital marketer here, Chase Chappell. Cheers and bye all.